you guys remember what this first blue blood vessel is? This one right here is the what? Superior vena cava. This last blue is the pulmonary trunk. And connected to the pulmonary trunk and this blood vessel is this little structure right here. Do you guys see this white structure? Do you guys see it? Oh, yeah. Do you guys remember what this structure was?
Ligamentum arteriosum.
It's the ligamentum arteriosum, which used to be what on the ductus arteriosus. Remember that for sure. You need to know this. Embryological structures are very important. Do you guys remember the other embryological structure that was important? Fossa ovalis. And where is that located?
Right
inside
atrium.
the right atrium, right? So if you go into the right atrium, you guys recall this structure? That's the fossa ovalis, which used to be what?
Forensic.
Foramen ovale. You see it? Foramen ovale. It used to be the foramen ovale. Do you guys remember? Oh, I already talked about this. Cool. I think that's all for the embryologically important structures. This structure right here is the what?
Chordae tendineae.
It's the chordae tendineae. The chordae tendineae, what's its function?
Prevent backflow.
Prevent backflow, not to give it backflow, right? Right. Here, there must be the
Papillary muscles.
This crazy mesh is the
Carnate.
trabeculae carnae.
I did the same.
Trabeculae carnae. Excellent.
What's the function of the trabeculae carnae?
Trabeculae carnae is just like a it's like an
Papillary
attachment
duct.
point. Yeah, it's an attachment point for this to the body wall. Do you guys see this right here? Does anybody know what this could be? This structure right here. It's a valve. What kind of valve?
Aortic.
Aortic valve, which is a semilunar valve. Aortic valve. Right, excellent. Aortic valve. And then you know these valves, right? Not too bad. So know these. On the outside, do you guys remember the blood vessels that provide to the heart itself? Right here. These are the coronary arteries and veins. Right. The blue ones are the. Right. And I'm actually going to be a big stickler about this. So when on the exam, if I point to this and I ask you what blood vessel this is, and you guys just say coronary, that's not enough. Right? That could be, I don't know if you know that specifically a vein or an artery. So make sure on the exam, don't just put like coronary, don't just put phrenic. Make sure you tell me it's a nerve, this is a vein, this is the artery. I'm going to make a very big deal about it. Okay? So on the exam, if you don't put that, it will be wrong. Okay.
So
Blue is vein.
Blue is vein and the red is artery. Okay. You're gonna be confused. All right. Sounds good. This big guy will be. You need to know this big guy. Okay. I think there's versions of this guy that's smaller hearts, and you can see pretty much the same structure. So know the small heart as well. Both will be on the exam. Small model and the big model. Okay. Thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on with the digestive system. And notice the digestive system, starting from the mouth to the anus, is a long tube. Right? It's a long tube. With the different tubes, we give it different names. Starting from the mouth, as it passes the throat and goes passes the abdominal cavity, this long tube is the esophagus, right? And the esophagus, is it behind or in front of the trachea?
Behind.
It's behind the trachea, right? And I could actually pin that structure if I move this guy over. Do you guys see this tube right here? Mm-hmm. Right, here's the trachea, and then this tube behind it. If I pin this guy, recall that's the esophagus, right? Mm-hmm. Pretty self-explanatory, very straightforward, right? The esophagus is going to go all the way down and meet up which organ? The stomach, right? Where that meeting occurs, the opening gate to the stomach is called the what? Cardiac sphincter, right? Cardiac sphincter. But the exit is the what? Not the cardiac sphincter, but the... Oh, I can't pronounce it now. No. Pyloric sphincter. I couldn't know. Oh, yeah, I got confused. Pyloric sphincter. The pyloric sphincter leads from the stomach to what organ next? The duodenum. And remember that the small intestines, I can ask you small intestines question if I either pin it at the very beginning of it or the very end of it or smack in the middle, right? That's what I was saying. So right next to the stomach, if I pin the small intestines just next to it, is the what? The duodenum, good. Smack in the middle probably is the jejunum, and then right next to the large intestine, so this is the ileum right here. Right. Do you guys remember what this bulge was from the cadaver room? That's a cecum. Good. All right. So this right here, oh wow, I twisted it or something. But remember, it does a little rainbow thing, right? Ooh. So we have the ascending colon, ascending, transverse, and then this guy coming down right here is a descending. Can we see the sigmoid? No. It's generally pretty deep. Right. With sigmoid, you can expect on what? The model. Remember I told you? You can see the S on the model, but it's kind of hard on this guy. You have to get pretty deep to see it. Okay. Definitely descending is very clear. All right. And then we have the rectum, and then the anus is just a hole. All right. In addition to that entire tube that we talked about, notice that I didn't talk about the liver or the pancreas or the gallbladder, because it's not a track where food follows through. But those three organs are still very important organs that contribute to the digestion. How does the liver sort of contribute to digestion?
Produces bile.
Because of the bile. Bile helps you break down food. That's why it's included in the digestive system organs. Okay. So bile is important. The gallbladder stores it, so it's important. And then the pancreatic, I gave it away. The pancreas contributes how? Pancreatic juice, right? Which is located, if I lift up this guy. Do you guys, yeah, exactly, the carnea soda. Do you guys see it here? If I pin this guy, right, this is the pancreas, right? Remember how to identify the pancreas. That's this structure right here. Okay. The gallbladder, this one's not colored, but generally it's green. That's how you'll find it. It's sort of between the lobes of the liver. What is this, by the way? This right here? This is the spleen. That is the spleen. That is the spleen. Excellent. Okay. What else haven't I talked about?
Is this the visceral pericard? Is it visceral?
Peritoneum.
No,
Right here?
Visceral
Pleura.
pleura. There you go.
Visceral.
I was looking at your sheet. Is that what it is?
This right here is the parietal pleura because it's lining the thoracic body wall. But if it lines the lung itself, it's the visceral
Pleura.
Okay.
So this right here, see this shiny thing? Parietal peritoneum. Right. Visceral peritoneum is it's hard to see. It's actually attached to the organ itself. Oh, what else have I not talked about?
Lesser omentum.
Oh, lesser omentum. Where's that located?
By the lesser curvature.
Right. That's this structure right here. It's so messy. Okay. So do you guys see on the stomach this region right here? Do you see it? Careful. Okay. Right. Know its derivations, right? Ventral, mesentery. Okay. Do you guys see this guy? This right here is the what? The kidney. The tube that leads from it, that's this right here. Ureter. It's not supposed to be blue. It's supposed to be white. But that's the ureter, which collects where?
Urinary bladder.
This bladder right here, giant bladder.
And then out through your urethra.
Through the urethra. What's on top of the kidneys?
The adrenal glands.
Adrenal glands. Good. Expect that on the models, right? The models will be on the exam too. What else can I ask you? Oh, yeah. This structure right here is the what? The trachea. Once the trachea branches off into two separate tubes,
Bronchi.
is the bronchi. Good. It's the bronchi. Right? On top of the trachea, you guys could see cartilages. The one on the very top,
Thyroid cartilage.
Just below would be the
Cricoid.
cricoid. And then here we have the which are made from cartilage. But what are their purpose?
To keep the trachea from collapsing.
From at all times, right? Because that's very important. Do you guys remember the funnel-like passageway that connects specifically the nasal cavity to the throat?
Nasopharynx.
Nasopharynx. If it's specifically nasal cavity, it's the nasopharynx. You can actually see it on the model, just in case it's on the exam. I'm gonna bring that out real quick.